So, Vineet, what are your strategies for preventing high output failure? Because somebody like you is going to be sought after by many mentees who want to learn from you. So, what's your advice to other mentors to make sure that they're doing as much as they can with the resources they have, but also not suffering from high output failure?
Thanks, Michelle. You know, it's funny, you mentioned high output failure, and I was actually in that part of the curve and didn't even know it. It only kind of occurred to me when COVID hit and I couldn't keep up with a lot of my commitments to mentees, whether it was getting papers to them on time or having face-to-face meetings. And unfortunately, then I recognized that, mentees suffer when you take on too many of them at a time. So my recommendations are several fold. First and foremost, everyone has their own sort of pace of comfort when it comes to this. But I really think if you're dealing with traditional physician scientists who are writing their career development award or getting their career started, then no more than 4 to 6 of those primary mentees, in terms of your focus, that's a lot of work and a lot of energy, and the stakes are very high for these individuals. So if you're going to serve as mentor to them, you need to be able to commit to the 1 hour every couple of week face-to-face meetings. You need to make sure you're available for questions. You really have to sort of have that on your plate. And, at one point in time, I was in the double digits for people like that. And it was very hard to keep up. So I think that from the primary mentor perspective, no more than 4 to 6, especially for physician scientists. Now, there are many other people where I serve, for example, as a coach or as a sponsor or as a connector. And I see that as a very different type of commitment. And again, it's important to clarify the commitment with the mentee as to what is it they're looking for from you. And again, for those types of commitments, you want to make sure that you're able to give the person what they need. So if it's somebody coming to me for help with a systematic review, it's often, meetings over the course of the year during their projects, versus if it's somebody who wants a letter of recommendation, which is often a one-off type of ask. And so I gauge those individually, but again, I'm mindful that those are additional work and responsibility. The worst thing a mentor can do is take on too many mentees. And I think this is important, that everyone needs to define that threshold to really think about the types of mentorship that they're providing people to make sure that they're fulfilling their obligation as mentor. And then if it really is a primary mentoring role, really being mindful of making sure that there's a stop date or an end date in time for that, whether it's tenure, whether it's sort of the K award, because great mentors are ones that actually take mentees to that level where they're able to see success in themselves, but then help them transition to also becoming mentors. So to have that built-in mentor the mentor model where they are then able to take on their own mentees, and I, for example, can go back and take on additional mentees myself. So it's the circle of mentorship, the circle of life, if you like. And, when you have too many of mentees on your panel, it's often hard to create that forward flow that you really need to stay on top of things.